18%. Brazil managed to reduce their CO2 emissions by 22%. And India reduced its CO2 levels in the month of April 2020 by minus 40%. That's huge. That means that we can have an impact on this planet's course and its direction. But the solution can't be to lock everyone in their homes and throw away the key, right? We've tried that. But I want to show you some facts. And fact number one is this. The mining industry generates approximately 100 billion tons of waste each year worldwide. And this one is just staggering. 68% of all energy produced in the United States ends up being wasted through various inefficiencies. And I thought we had an energy crisis going on right now. And 80 billion pounds of food wasted each year just in the United States of America. That's equal to 30-40% of what the agricultural sector's output is in this country. Now, construction creates an estimated third of all waste on this planet, and at least 40% of all CO2 emissions. And this one you're going to like. You're never, ever, ever going to throw away a phone, because 1 ton of mobile phones contains 300 times more gold than the best quality gold ore we can extract through mining. 20% of every dollar spent in discrete manufacturing is wasted, adding up to $8 trillion per year. And that's equal to 10% of the global economy. So, what does it look like? What does human resource consumption and extraction look like on this planet? Well, something like this, in a very simplified form. We extract 100 of resources every year. And sometimes we do things right when we extract these resources. So we consume 60 every year out of these 100. Now, through mistakes, through man-made mistakes, we waste 40. So there is a 4% chance in 10 that we'll make a mistake that wastes the resource we're trying to consume on this planet. And you might have heard about the circular economy. The circular economy is not your waste bins back home. You got a green, you got a red and a blue, and then you sort it. No, it's something completely different. But we're not very good today at recycling our products that we make and consume. But what could this look like if we really get our acts together and work hard? Well, we can eliminate human mistakes. So we can eliminate the resources we waste through our own mistakes. And when we talk about the circular economy, the promise is that we can probably recycle half of everything we consume every year on this planet. And the end result would mean that we could reduce resource extraction on this planet from 100 down to 30. That's huge. That's 70% reduction. So how do we do it, and how do we go about implementing these things? Well, if we start with the circular economy, it looks something like this. All products consist of components. And when we design, for example, a car, we use CAD programs, and we think about the life of that product. But we spend very little time on the afterlife, what's happening next. And that's why all these products end up as landfill. Now, what we need to do is to already from the outset plan so that we can separate different materials in our products so that iron and steel goes into one bucket and being recycled, aluminium goes in another direction, and so forth. And this is an area where we all can improve, and it will benefit both the planet and our bottom lines. So, the bigger one is human mistakes. And let's spend some time on human mistakes. What does it look like? This is a human mistake. And how does this happen? Well, it starts with human activity. Then we make the mistake, and then we waste resources. So this truck driver probably had a couple of beer too many the night before. He's overslept, was a bit hungover, tried to make up time and took a shortcut. And now he's stuck under this bridge. The bridge is wasted, the truck is wasted, and behind him there is a queue of roughly 100 cars with their engines idle, just fuming out CO2 emissions. And he was on his way to deliver critical key components to a factory nearby. He's not going to make it. So now the factory panics and they try to make a rush order that will consume even more resources on this planet to not have their assembly line idle. So, do we do this because we're inherently bad? No, we don't. We just do it because we're humans. We are amazing when it comes to the pandemic. We can figure out new things. Our ingenuity is fantastic. But we're super bad at repetitive, boring, monotonous tasks where you have to repeat over and over and over again. And by the way, we got a lot of surveyors here tonight. My favorite here is the bridge. How can you do that? How can you end up like that? Beats me. But what we need to realize is that we can't rely on the current reality because it doesn't work. We need a new reality where we can improve and make things better. So what am I talking about? Is it the metaverse? No. The metaverse might be a great digital escape, but it's not the solution that we are discussing. No, what we are discussing is something much more profound than that. I am talking about something that we at Hexagon call smart digital realities. A smart digital reality is rooted in reality. It's a perfect digital version of the object or the process you want to describe. It's intelligent because it's got access to all the data and all the information we need about this object. And it's always real time, so as the real world changes, the digital twin must change too. And very important, a smart digital reality must be independent of human interaction. It must be self-sufficient. So what you see in this video behind me playing is one of our latest products. It's called BLK2Fly. And it's not a drone, it's the first flying scanner. And we can now see it take off and it scans the facade of this skyscraper. And eventually we have a digital reality that is rooted in the real reality. And as we produce this digital reality, we can do all sorts of things with it. We can measure the angle from the sunbeams if we want to dress the facade with solar panels. We can look for leaks in the windows where we emit hot air to improve the operation of this skyscraper. But smart digital realities could really be anything. It could be the measurement of a critical key component in a factory. It could be an entire mine. But it could also be an event. It could be a big game in a stadium, or it could be a crime scene where you use forensic science and you digitize the crime scene, bring it back to the office, and there you do your analytics. So let's go back to our truck under the bridge. What should we have done here, and what would a smart digital reality have looked like in this case? Well, a smart digital reality would have been an autonomous truck. We probably would have loaded this truck the evening before. We would have downloaded the route guidance, and we would have updated it as it traveled from A to B if things changed during its course. And it would have arrived safely at the factory and offloaded the critical key components that we needed so much. It wouldn't have made any mistakes, and it wouldn't have unnecessarily burnt and consumed resources. And now I'm going to say something provocative to you. You come from various industries here tonight. And I'm going to tell you that this is the right place to fail. At Hexagon Live, you're going to see these digital realities, and you're going to understand how you can deploy them in your organizations. And trust me, it's much better that you simulate things, new technologies that you want to try, or whatever it might be, in the digital reality before we move it into the real world. Because here it's free of charge. So I think that with computers, with robots, with software platforms, we're going to see more and more digital realities. And that begs the question, what's in it for us? What's going to happen to us humans? What does our future look like? Well, we've discussed humans, and I've stated that we're not good at repetitive, mundane, and dangerous tasks. But we're really good at creative, purposeful, and fun tasks. So what we can use digital realities for in society is let them do the boring, repetitive tasks where we might waste resources. And when we introduce them, they're going to do it much better than humans do today. And what we're going to do in return is we're going to spend time on purpose. Because believe it or not, everyone in this auditorium tonight has a purpose. There is something you are really good at that you should spend more time at doing. And I think that's the promise of the future as we roll out these new technologies. And some people say that, it's not going to stop there. And I believe them. I think that 10 years from now, we're all going to have digital twins of ourselves. A perfect representation that you can do anything from online shopping of garment or to store your medical records when you discuss with your doctor. And then there are some real lunatics that wants to bottle up us. They want to extract our memories, photos of us, our voice, and so on, and store it for future generations. And now you think I've gone completely bonkers. But what I wanted to tell you is this: the day before something is truly a breakthrough, it's a crazy idea. But I know this for sure, and that is the way forward from here is accountability. Now, 30 years ago, when most of us started our careers, accountability was in the way. Now, it was in the way to make more money. It was in the way to make better profitability, productivity and efficiency in our factories. But it was in the way, but for the next 30 years, it is the way forward. So, I think accountability